Hey all, what's up everybody? Tim here with today's SCE. Hope wherever you're at, you are doing awesome. Thanks so much for tuning in. We are talking about how to build an epic belief system, and today we're gonna hit on one of the most vital and critical parts in the whole process, and that's the subject of congruence. So you asked me what congruence is, and to answer that, I'm gonna ask you a question. Think about one of the best concerts you ever attended. What was it? Where was it? Who was it? What made it great? Now, think about one of the worst concerts you ever attended. What was it? Who was it? What made it awful? And for me, it was one of many elementary band school concerts that I ended up attending for a variety of reasons. And when you go to an elementary school band concert, all bets are off. The potential of just about anything happening is really, really high. Oftentimes, there's a lot of confusion among the band members. There's just noise in the audience, and it seems like every section in the entire band is playing to a different beat, if not playing a different piece altogether. The woodwinds are going one way, the brass is going another, percussion's on the beat, off the beat. It is just absolute chaos. People are dropping instruments, dropping music. Parents love it, right? Because the kids are playing, but from a musical standpoint, it's a total train wreck most of the time. Some are good, but most are not. And the reason for that is because the band is out of harmony. Different instruments are playing different voices. Some of the instruments in the same sections are playing different notes. You hear the clarinet squeaking, you hear people coming in early, and it just is absolute chaos, like we talked about. And that disharmony is what congruence is all about. But congruence is all about harmony. So when we talk about how to build an epic belief system and the subject of congruence, what I mean is we need to have harmony amongst the different players that contribute to our belief system that we've talked about. We need to have alignment or harmony between our thoughts, our emotions, our words, and our actions. And they all need to come into alignment. And if you think about that great concert you went to, a lot of times you get so absorbed in the music, so absorbed in the moment, it just carries you away. You can't tell if the band's playing great or not because they're playing awesome, and you get totally sucked in. But when you go to a really awful concert, you can tell every wrong note, you can tell when things are out of sync, you can tell when the rhythm's off, you can tell when somebody's flat and sharp, and it's disharmony, it's not congruent. So when we're building a belief system, we need to make sure that our thoughts and our emotions and our words and our actions are all in alignment. You can't be thinking that you want to be something, but talking in a different direction or acting in a different direction. So for example, we've used my example of wanting to be a runner, and I thought I want to be a great runner, and I talked about how I built that into my words and I started acting like a runner. Well, I can't be thinking about being a great runner, but talking to people about how awful running is and how much I hate it. I can't be thinking about being a great runner and not running. All of those pieces need to come together. All of those pieces need to form that alignment, that congruence, that harmony. When all four of those pieces come together, that belief is going to take off. But when they don't, you get disharmony and the belief tends to crumble. And a lot of times we start out trying to believe something and we have a lot of momentum in the beginning, but once we start to run out of alignment, our thoughts start to go one way, our words start to go another way, our actions to go a third way, and that dissonance kicks in. Unless we get our arms around that in a hurry, that belief is going to crumble and we're going to get frustrated and we're going to blow up. And the way that you know that you're out of congruence is you start to experience negative emotions. Right? When you're believing for something and everything's going awesome, you feel great, you feel unstoppable, you feel like you are totally on top of the world. But when you start to get frustrated and anxious and worried and fearful and angry, you know that something is out of alignment. So I want you to start using your emotions as a barometer. When your emotions are positive and moving in a positive direction and an empowering direction, and you feel fantastic and you feel glad and you're in the moment and you're joyful, you know that your belief is congruent, right? Your thoughts, your words, your actions, your emotions are all flowing together. When you start to get frustrated or angry or jealous or any of those negative toxic emotions, you know you're off somewhere, and that's where self-awareness becomes so important. You need to take a look at yourself and bring yourself back into alignment. Now, like any muscle, once you start to work this, it takes time and practice. So if you get out of congruence, don't beat yourself up. Just get back on track. Bring yourself back into alignment. Figure out, is the problem with my words? Am I speaking against my belief? Am I saying things that are contrary to what I want to believe? Am I thinking things that are contrary to what I want to believe? Are my actions not aligning? And wherever that dissonance is, you got to bring it back into harmony. And just like that band director's got to bring that band back together, you need to bring those components back together. So you need to be aware of what you're thinking, feeling, speaking, and acting, and make sure they're all consistent with that belief you said you want to materialize. The other way to tell is the difference between wishing and knowing. When you wish something is going to happen, you're not really sure if it's going to happen or not. You hope it does, but you're not really sure. But when you know something's going to happen, it's the only option. There isn't any other option. There isn't any option A, B, or C. The only option is the one that you're knowing is going to occur, option A, and you're 100% committed to it. That's the other way to tell when you're out of alignment. When you're in alignment, you know this is moving forward. And when you're not, you're thinking, well, I'm kind of wishing that this is going to go. I'm hoping this is going to go, but I'm not really sure. So when those negative emotions hit, it's flagging you down that something's out of alignment. You got to bring it back together. And then you're probably in a wishing state, not in the knowing or expecting state. And when everything's going great and those emotions are firing off on all cylinders and they're positive, you're probably knowing. So what I want you to do is become aware of where you're at. And when you start to slip into those negative emotions and you start to slip into wishing and not really sure if this is going to go, take a look at your congruence and see if all your parts are in alignment. And when your emotions are flying high and you're knowing this is going to hit, keep going that direction, because it's going to come to pass. It's going to happen. And that congruence is the missing elixir that people discount, but it's so important in building a belief, because when you've got it, you are gold, you are money. And when you don't, you are headed down a direction that's going to take you as far away from that belief as you could possibly imagine. So, Tim from the LV, hoping you found this helpful. Wishing you awesome day, awesome afternoon. Build those up at beliefs. Can't wait to hear your stories. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. See you soon.